Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Positively Dizzy podcast. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, the author of the Positively Dizzy book series and the host of the show. Thanks so much for dropping by. I can't wait to chat with my friend and guest, Greg McCullough, tonight. But before we get on to that, I just want to thank my sponsor, Michelle McKeown, over at Years of Experience, where she will put together an amazing vacation for you wherever you are in the world. She will also be your first point of contact if you want to plan that wedding at Walt Disney World or just, have an event there. Give her a call at 732-735-1779, or you can reach her at mmckeown at themouseexperts.com. And by the way, she offers 24/7 text privileges. So if you run into a problem or need some help or a question while you're on vacation, you can reach out to her at any time and she will be happy to help you. Just want to say hello to Francisco all the way from Colombia watching this evening. Well, there are a few things in history, April 16th, that happened in the Disney universe. And something that I was not really aware of is the relationship between Charlie Chaplin and Walt Disney. I guess they had a very intense mutual admiration for each other. And this was Charlie Chaplin's birthday back in 1889. He would have been 132 years old. He actually had been invited to many engagements, particularly the premiere of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He also had Mickey Mouse cartoons before his live actions and also was in a caricature of the 1936 film Mickey's Polo Team. Anyways, Walt and Charlie, they got along very, very well. Walt really loved his Charlie Chaplin's sense of humor, and he would often be telling his animators, the 9 old men, about the gags that Charlie Chaplin would do. And he admired the acting that Charlie Chaplin did. But it was interesting because Ward Kimball, one of the 9 old men, had claimed that, Walt would get all self-conscious if he was asked to act out something in particular. But when he got caught up in the story or the gag or explaining something, he would just be as good as Charlie Chaplin himself, is what Ward Kimball had mentioned. Another thing that was very interesting that I discovered on my travels overseas several years ago is that Charlie Chaplin spent a lot of time in Ireland. He was a real angler, real fisherman, and he was actually so famous around the Ring of Kerry, which is a very beautiful drive around Kerry in Ireland, that they made a statue for him. Now, the funny thing about this statue is the people wanted to put it sort of out in the middle of the road. Now, those roads are not like our roads in North America, of course, but people were really concerned because either they didn't want anybody to get hit on the highway, which is, as I said, maybe a 2-lane road max both ways. And they had their problem solved when a driver accidentally hit the statue and it ended up on the sidewalk and they weren't going to move it again into the middle of the road. So that was kind of neat, but I didn't realize he spent so much time over in Ireland. But I just thought that was interesting. You never know whose birthday it's going to be and the relationship. Walt had, of course, a lot of friends and a lot of acquaintances, and Charlie Chaplin was one of them. I don't know if you guys have had been able to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but believe it or not, it was this day in 2001 that it opened. And I remember when our family stayed there, it was probably, I'm thinking it was probably about 10 years after that or close to it. We were at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I'll never forget it because we were at an Irish dance competition and we had to be out the door by about 6:37 in the morning. So super early, the boys were on stage, and we got back to our villa at about 10 a.m. And I just snuggled up on their chaise lounge with a pillow, just watching the giraffes eating their breakfast. And I thought, where in the world in North America can you just lay out on your balcony, enjoying the sunshine and the view of a giraffe eating? So you guys check it out. Even if you want to resort hop, it's really a cool place to see. The food is quite amazing as well. And it's just a really, really neat place. The animals are all out and about. I know that you Floridians probably partake in the different festivals throughout being locals and the Californians as well. But did you know that it was actually in 2004 that it was already the 11th Flower and Garden Festival? I had the good fortune to be there during the Garden and Flower Festival, actually the last couple of years, and it is outstanding. I mean, the flowers, the fauna, the foliage is so beautiful in the parks anyways, but my goodness gracious, when you have that festival, they amp it up somehow. I'm not too sure how they manage it, but Epcot pulls it off amazingly. So that was interesting. April 16th in 2004. Another festival that now on the West Coast was the Disney's California Food and Wine Festival that actually celebrated their 5th year of it in 2010. Now, I know that the Californians are just chomping at the bit for those gates to open officially coming up here, and I'm so excited for them to experience their parks again. And they did recently have, I would say, a mini festival of sorts where they had Disney California Adventure open and you could have like different foods there and you could buy merchandise in that. But I just thought that was an interesting thing that it was, the sort of the same day. And, April 16th is also the day that I get to have my friend Greg McCullough on the show. Now, if you guys have gone to the Arts Festival at Epcot, which is absolutely a phenomenal festival, you most likely have seen Greg. Greg is there every year, and I think he's there the whole time. There's only a few of those artists that are there the whole time. And Greg has some amazing work. He's a very humble guy, and he's just as I said, just a fantastic artist. And we're going to get him on the line here shortly. And again, if you have any questions for me, just, ask, if you could type it in or whatever. I will do my best to ask a question if you don't hear me asking him one already. But please just feel free to do that. Want to say hi to Michelle. Hey, Michelle, nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. And we're just going to get Greg on the line here. We've hearing a dial tone, so we're going to see at where he is at in the world. He is traveling at this time. Hello, Greg.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, I am just wonderful.
Oh my goodness. So I am great. I am great. It's so warm here, and I'm just like smiling because, of course, any sunshine in this neck of the woods is almost a rare day these days, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Okay.
But anyways,
and it's beautiful here.
It is. Now, I teased everybody and said you are traveling and you're out west somewhere. Where are you this evening?
We just finished a full day in Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Oh my gosh, did you get to see the geyser?
Oh, sure.
You did. Okay. You saw, because,
a lot of.
Go ahead.
Uh-huh. A lot of the roads are closed, but there was plenty to see. Yeah, we had one day to come and see. We'd never been, but just to be introduced to Yellowstone and see what it was like.
Nice. It's pretty amazing to, the natural phenomenon of the geysers and Old Faithful. I remember visiting as a child, and for some reason, Old Faithful isn't quite as on time. At least the last time I was there. Is he pretty good at spewing his steam regularly?
Right on time.
Oh, good.
We came down there. Yeah, no, that was good. No, and plus, we actually just enjoyed rivers and trees and hiking and stuff of that nature too.
Nice. Yeah. It's great to be able to do that, be outdoors. Now, you know, I just want to start a little bit at the beginning here with you. When, you know, a lot of our listeners, several have met you before at the Arts Festival. But before we go on, I just want to say hi to Natalie as well. For those of you that don't know who Natalie is, Greg married a wonderful French Canadian woman, and she's just a lovely, lovely partner there. And just thought I'd say hello first.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. I won't go any further than that. I can, but nobody would understand that's watching. So, so Greg, when did you start drawing in your life? When did you start?
Kimberly, it was so early. I've got to say before kindergarten, because I sent a little card of a teepee. And I remember my mother teaching me to draw that teepee. And then I went into my kindergarten and taught the kids how to draw a teepee.
Oh,
so it started very young, and I haven't stopped since.
My goodness, you must have been the hit of the class to actually draw something that is recognizable.
Well, I don't know if it was that recognizable at that time.
Oh okay.
I can do it today with what I thought I was drawing, but it probably isn't the same as what came out years ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a great start because it's kind of got almost the letter A in there. And as a former teacher, I mean, that's always a good formation to learn and actually then make an object. That's pretty neat. Kindergarten, gosh, and you can actually remember back to that time. That's incredible too. Now, who or what inspired you to start drawing, actually?
Actually, I have to say it was my mother. She always had arts and crafts around, and my grandfather and great grandfather, they both were tinkerers. They taught me to build stuff very early. Mm. So I feel as much of an engineer as I am an artist.
Yeah. And so your mom had a lot of arts and crafts. So would you say you were drawing and painting at an early age, or did you sort of go into the painting part a little bit when you're a little bit older, maybe elementary or?
Oh my goodness. I didn't paint officially. I was an airbrusher from probably 16 years old to, well, what would that be? I think I'd be 34 at the time, and then I picked up a paintbrush.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so confused about that because I literally never painted. I was an airbrusher. We drew through the elementary and all that, and played with color pencils or whatever.
Okay.
But when I started at Six Flags Over Texas doing caricatures, I was an airbrusher. And I continued doing that until 94 when Photoshop came out with Photoshop 3, and we bought computers for the studio, and we never looked back.
My goodness.
So it was 2003. I wanted something different than advertising art, and I went out and bought my first paintbrush and
started to paint. You know, I'm starting to think airbrushing must not have been that easy. You know, that's kind of a, wouldn't you say airbrushing was a little more, I don't know, lack of a better word, haphazard than having more control of a brush, or would you say if you're really good at it, it's the same? I don't know.
Oh no, airbrush is ultra tight.
Okay.
Let's say.
Okay.
Where painting is loose and fun.
Okay.
And I didn't know that at the time.
Oh gosh. Well, you finally got to it though. That's kind of I'm glad for that, because if you would you would never know. I mean, you've done some absolutely amazing artwork for so many, not only when you did your art for brands for different companies, but just in general, your paintings are beautiful, but you did something very unique. You did a Star Wars Disney kind of project. Can you share with people what that was about?
What it was
Yeah.
when I started doing the Disney Fine Art,
Yeah.
it was just mashups. We used to be able to do Disney/Star Wars characters, tie them together.
Okay.
And that was all that was. I never did. I was associated with Pixar more than I was Star Wars, but I did do 8 oil paintings for the Art of Disney. And I forgot what year it is, but when Disney bought Lucas, they outlawed mashups.
Okay.
So overnight, my my fun oil paintings went away.
Okay. Can you tell people what a mashup is? Because I know what it is, but the listeners might not be too sure. So if you could give us a couple of examples of the mashups you did, Greg.
If you will go to Google and punch in Boba Duck, just punch in Boba Duck, you will get a Donald Duck who is dressed up as Boba Fett. You can't miss. Luckily, when you punch that in, my Boba Duck comes up.
Oh, that's awesome.
There were a lot done, but mine has lots of fire coming out behind him, and you can't miss it.
Oh, well,
so it's just a mashup between the two characters.
Okay. What did Mickey Mouse have? I'm curious to know. What was Mickey's mashup?
Oh, he was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, of course.
Oh, absolutely. And I did 2 of him. One of them was Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Duck Maul.
Oh.
So it was fun.
I see where that's going. I see the theme there with Donald Duck.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Minnie was Princess Leia.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I did one painting of her as Leia. And Kimberly, I just remember something. I just totally forgot this. But I was doing a lot of illustration work, which would be the Photoshop. But for Star Wars weekends, I did the official poster for 2010 and 2011. One is Mickey Mouse as Obi-Wan fighting Boba Fett.
Okay.
And then the next year was Mickey fighting Darth Vader.
Oh,
so if anyone has those posters or T-shirts or whatever, because it was printed on everything.
Yeah.
That's 2 of my projects where I'm Disney.
Right. Well,
as an illustrator.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure some of our listeners do, because I mean, our listeners not only are Disney fans, but they're Star Wars fans. And if they got to Star Wars weekend, which I never ever got to, unfortunately, but they're very fortunate to have that, considering you can't get them anymore, right?
Oh, and I miss that. That was my favorite time of the year.
That must
have the Star Wars weekends.
Yeah, I have heard so many good things that it would be neat if they could bring that back again. I'm sometimes asked, what things that I would like to see back. And even though I haven't attended one, I definitely want to see Star Wars weekends back. You have had the good fortune to paint a variety of characters. Who would you say is your favorite?
Buzz Lightyear and Woody got me introduced to Disney. Okay. I did packaging artwork for Frito-Lay with those 2 characters before we knew who they were for the openings. And so the Pixar characters just really hold a candle, hold my heart.
Yeah.
As far as Disney goes, it's got to be Donald, just because I can play with him.
Oh.
I can do things with Donald that I can't do with the rest of the crew.
Is that because he's got such a variety of emotions? Is that what or gets himself in these crazy situations? Tell me, how is it that one over another?
No, that is it.
Oh, it is it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just guessing.
Oh, I did a Hollywood Tower Hotel painting, and I tried to turn Mickey a little sinister.
Oh, okay.
And I turned in the sketch, and within an hour they got back to me, which is unusual because it usually takes 6 days at least.
Yeah.
And they said, no, you can't do that to Mickey.
Oh.
So I went back and made it smile a little bit, kind of keep the sinister, but you have to respect
Right.
the Disney.
Right. And
Yep.
yeah, and
Yep.
so Donald's allowed to be crabby because he's supposed to be, and I feel like Donald gets the kind of the short end of the stick. He seems to trouble and drama seems to follow him around.
And you can have so much fun with it.
Oh my gosh. There's one painting that you did. We all missed the sorcerer's hat at Hollywood Studios, I have to admit. And you did a beautiful, beautiful painting with Mickey and a sorcerer's hat. But I actually think it's called a remnant, right? It's a remnant with that I think that's the style that you did with the yeah.
Years ago when I first started oil painting, I just couldn't believe how much paint I was throwing away during the day of painting, because I would mix paint and I would clean off the palette with a glass scraper, and I would throw that paint away as unusable. However, what I started doing was keeping large canvases off to the side, and when I scrape my paint palette, it's still wet oil paint. I would scrape it up with my glass scraper, and I'd go to this big canvas and I'd make abstracts. So I was making these abstracts out of my leftover oil paint from my Disney paintings. And eventually what happened was I got brave enough to try to paint a character with a glass scraper is nothing more than a handle with a razor blade.
Okay.
So those big paintings are done with a razor blade and leftover paint. That's how it started out. But remnants is now its own style.
Okay.
We go into the studio to create remnants, or we just do the normal oil brush paintings.
Right. Well, I just, that just, to be honest with you, flabbergasts me that you can actually create something with a razor blade. And on top of it, that this is leftover paint. Now, so I understand the abstract concept, you've got leftover colors, and so you can create something with that. But when you are creating, something like Minnie and Mickey or Mickey, like this with the sorcerer hat, you have a definitive character in mind, I believe, when you're using those leftover paints to do the remnant style. So do you take those oil paints immediately and sort of have a few paintings going on at the same time, so you can use the same colors? Like if you're going to do, say, Mickey, and you're using a red or something, or is that
sure? And that's how it started out. I would have a few running and just kind of know what was needed. And something about me is I'm unable to do anything haphazard, actually. So a sorcerer Mickey, I would have sketched that out. I would have planned the colors and the shading and stuff of that nature.
Okay.
So at least I have a physical vision of where I wanted to go. And I'm very fast with Photoshop, so I can do those mock-ups. And it makes it so much easier than just guessing. What's fun with remnant, though, is it's based on mistakes, essentially. So you have a design that as you start putting colors in, these colors mix and match. And if you look close at a remnant, it's just full of different colors that don't belong. So the goal or the challenge is, how do I make this look right?
Right. Yeah.
How do I make it look like a red of Minnie's hat or something of that nature? And it's so fun. I mean, it's coming from advertising of 25 years where everything is just very tight and exact.
Yeah.
It's like, this is about as loose as I've ever gotten.
Oh, very liberating, I would think, to be able to do that.
Oh my goodness. And it's gone further with other stuff that I've actually started playing with here. With oil paint, it's loosened me up. You're correct.
Nice. I love that. Well, something that I don't know if a lot of people know this, and I never had the chance to go in, but you are the only Disney artist that had your very own gallery it was downtown Disney at the time in Florida, but in Disney Springs, my goodness, how did that come about? That's quite an honor, I would think.
That was an amazing situation. I had been invited to Golden Oak to possibly go out there for a weekend and set up and sell to the Golden Oak guests, or the people who live out there.
Right.
And it didn't quite work out, but what I did was I had the thought of maybe I could take over a third of I had enough artwork, stuff of that nature, to maybe fill up a large part of the Art of Disney at Disney Springs.
Uh-huh.
And I took that to management, and they thought it was a great idea. However, when they got back to me, they literally walked me into it. It was an empty space, which used to be the space Little Miss Matched. It was the sock store, and they had what I remember of it is they had a sign on the roof. You could see it from all sides of the lake there at Disney Springs.
Right.
They walked me into that 3,000 square foot store and asked, "Can I fill it?"
Oh my gosh!
And I said, and I said, "Yes, I can fill it." And that was 2 months before the opening. It was a pop-up store. I knew that. It was kind of a test. Let's test this and see if we can turn this store into, maybe a rotating artist type thing.
Oh, okay.
And so I literally had that store for November and December of 2018.
Wow.
Tremendous success. My understanding is, I hope I can say this right, I'm the only single artist that has had his name on a building out there at Disney Springs. And the funnest thing for me, and I went around that lake at least once a day just taking a picture of it, but my name was up on the roof of Disney Springs.
That's neat.
I was so pleased with that. That was so fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a I mean, most people would never even think about that, that they would get to that point, or that could even happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think most Disney artists, if I'm correct, would just be happy to be a Disney artist, and selling their stuff and doing their signings and that in the galleries, the different galleries. But to actually have your own, I think that would have been just mind-blowing, actually.
Mind-blowing on so many different levels.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Now, I mean, so it's your gallery. So were you there, like, did you ever sleep during that time? I just wonder, because those are long hours that they have there at Disney Springs.
Well, I'm afraid it's worse than that, because those 2 months prior, I did not sleep. Okay. I was trying to prepare for it, and I was trying to finish up. In fact, the sorcerer, which I believe was 4 foot by 8 foot, something of that nature. It was huge. So, and I had a number of the remnants done. So we had probably, 9 remnants in that space.
Oh, wow.
So the 2 months before was non-stop sleep. Or non-sleep.
Non-sleep. Non-stop, non-sleep.
Oh, my goodness.
It's okay.
I'm still recovering from that store, I promise you. But then what happened was November and December came, and you're right, I didn't have to be working all the time, but I believe there was something of the nature. I had 12 cast members working for me.
Wow.
Disney had, I believe, 2 running the registers. So it was a trying 2 months, very fun, very exciting. It's like, oh my God, I have my name up there and all this, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
But then to go straight into, 2019, the Festival of the Arts at Epcot. So literally, it was a 6-month time period where it just didn't stop.
Wow.
And
Wow.
did very well, but I needed a break. In
Yeah.
fact, I think I'm still on it to some degree.
Well, you know, I still maintain too much of a good thing is still too much, you know? Like it's wonderful, but yeah, you need to have you need to be able to sort of rest and relax a little bit. And speaking of resting and relaxing now, you guys are full-time RVers, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. But I know you are also painting. So how do you do that on the road?
Very easily.
Okay, so we're trying to have an idea here in our head what this looks like. So walk us through.
I've got a very large truck that I pull a 38-foot RV.
Okay.
We kind of tested a 31-foot out last year.
Oh.
And we just loved the lifestyle. We went up the East Coast and then spent 4 months in Quebec.
Okay.
And then came back down. And when we got down to Orlando, we just immediately bought a new trailer.
Okay.
And it's literally when the sides are pulled out, it's a nice home.
Wow.
Natalie and I both were painting on. We can probably paint up to 24 by 36, maybe a few inches bigger than that. We both paint at the back end of the RV. We have 2 easels permanently rigged up there, and we paint together.
Wow.
And we turned the space where the dining table was into a digital workstation.
Okay.
And because I still do so much with Photoshop in preparation. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really nothing, we can't do the big remnants. That's pretty much out of the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, I had kind of forgotten about this too. When we got back to Orlando, I did a painting last year for the 50th anniversary, Magical Reflection. It's a castle. It's the castle, and it's got 50 hidden Mickeys for the anniversary. And how many?
21.
21 hidden items from the opening day. Anyway, that was 4 foot by 6 foot. I know that one. And I was about 90% done. But when we got back to Orlando with this 31-foot trailer, we let go of the house too. We literally are full-time RVers.
Okay.
So I had 10%, maybe 15% of that painting left to do, and I did it inside this little 31-foot trailer. That was uncomfortable. Natalie has pictures of me painting, sitting on the floor, trying to get the bottom stuff painted.
You know what? I was thinking in my mind the Sistine Chapel with it on top of the roof and you laying there painting. Oh my gosh. That
very close to it, yeah.
Oh, gee whiz. That's incredible. Now, I mean, so you guys, do you have to buy a ton of paints ahead of time? Because I'm just trying to think, what if you run out of supplies? I mean, you guys are on the road. How do you deal with that part of it?
Well, there's usually, we go through a large town at some point in time.
Okay.
I've also got to the point where I'm using some very nice oil paints that come out of New York, and he'll ship it to me pretty quickly. I mean, within a day or two.
Okay.
So FedEx, and Amazon.
Okay.
They do very well by us. Yes.
Okay, so wherever you're staying, you could just use that address in your campground or whatever and get your supply.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we're there long enough, we can just ship it to the campground.
Oh, thank goodness. Because I started to think, you can't always find necessarily what you want while you're on the road. But if you can order it like that, definitely that's the way to go. I have to ask you, that's definitely some challenges in that you would have had in painting. But what you don't paint every day right now. I don't imagine. Do you? No, you probably don't, but I don't know.
Natalie does.
Ah, okay.
This is all new to Natalie.
Yes.
I've been doing this professionally since '78.
Wow.
So no, I don't paint every day. I'm always doing something creative. The this what do you call it? The Facebook
Oh, yes.
page that we put together, Greg and Nat's most awesome art venture. That's the name of our little. If you go to Greg McCullough Art, it's just my Facebook page. But we are having so much fun putting these posts together on our travels everywhere we go. Once a week, we have a Friday feature, which is based on my artwork or mine or Natalie's artwork, and we do something with that. And we just started something else on Wednesday. It's just a question, like last week for the first time, how many Disney oil paintings have I done since 2007? And it's just a little contest. You got 24 hours, and the winner will get we send out a little certificate for a deluxe print. Come to the Festival of Arts and come pick your own. And it's just fun.
Nice.
So I'm using my creativity, but the painting comes maybe 2 times a week.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. Well, I mean, I would say this is your new favorite fun project, I would say, that you guys are doing, your adventure.
Oh yeah, this is something else. Like we're probably 3 weeks behind on the posting of where we're at. Like,
you're having too much fun.
We're having too much fun. Oh yeah, that too. Yes, I'm sorry. You're right.
That's what I thought.
We pulled into the Tetons, the Grand Teton Valley.
Yeah.
A week ago.
Okay.
And we got the wild hare yesterday to drive up to Yellowstone. So we spent the day at Yellowstone playing, and now we're sitting at a hotel with the camper still in the Tetons. We'll go back tomorrow, but
right.
Just what a life. This is just dream stuff.
I can only imagine. I mean, now I know you guys left. I think you guys left March 1st. You left Orlando March 1st because I got there March 3rd. And you took off, right? But
yeah.
And
we had.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say we had planned March 30th, but we were ready.
Yeah.
We were ready. The festival went so well and it shut down so well that by March 1st, we could
go.
Do our plan, leave early, and my apology for missing you.
Oh, that's okay. We'll see each other again.
But I have to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, we pulled into the Holiday Inn, and I went in to check in, and the 2 ladies were just super nice, and they were questioning me, and I was telling them we started in Orlando. We're going to end in Banff. We have 8 months to do that. And, just to watch their eyes, and then it made me realize, oh, how fortunate.
Yeah.
How fortunate we are.
Yeah.
Even though we feel that, we say it to each other all day long, but to see what these young ladies saw. And then I mentioned that we were both Disney artists, and they just kind of lost.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, and Banff has a very special place in my heart because Canmore and Banff are like 15 minutes from each other, and we got married in Canmore. 2 of our kids were born in Canmore. You're in my old stomping grounds, and I can't wait for you guys to be there, because that is going to really change your perspective on Canada when you see the Canadian Rockies that are so majestic. They're just unbelievable. It's something that I understand why there's so many people that paint them because they are really phenomenal mountains, the whole area.
Kimberly, as a Texan, when I spent 4 months in Quebec last year, I just fell in love. It was stunning for me.
Yeah.
And now to think that we're going to go spend time in the Canadian Rockies. Oh, and they had a call-in. You couldn't make reservations, but somehow Natalie, it was a tough day for her, but she got literally in Banff, I think 2.5 months or something like that. So we're in the Banff camping ground.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Oh.
We were expecting to stay outside of the park and drive in when we wanted to, but we're there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but that's a long time. That's a very unusual amount of time. She must have had a little bit of pixie dust happening because it's normally only 30 days.
Actually, well, yeah, we have to move 3 times. I'm sorry.
Oh,
there'll be 3 spaces in that time.
Okay.
But, which is not a problem for us. We're kind of organized.
Yeah.
And just honored to be able to stay there that long.
Yeah, that absolutely is wonderful. Now, you guys have had several adventures on your way and have kind of discovered some interesting things along the road. Can you share a little bit about some of those? Because they're very much Disney tie-ins, Pixar tie-ins, I guess.
Well, and we found another one today, but we're not going to tell you.
Oh!
You're going to have to watch the post.
Okay. In 3 weeks' time, right?
I'm sorry?
In 3 weeks' time, perhaps? Today's...
Something of that nature.
Okay. So we'll back it up then. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you discovered that were kind of Pixar-ish.
It was, especially for me, I really am. I am so tied in with Pixar. I've actually gone out to the studio twice, and so it's just, I just love it. So we left New Mexico. We were visiting a friend in New Mexico and going to Meteor Crater. And about halfway, we went through this town. And this town had teepees for a hotel.
Okay.
And I thought about it. I didn't have to think long because Maynard, what was it?
Mater.
Oh, Mater.
Maynard's the wine gums. Yeah, Mater.
They had Mater parked outside of one of these teepees, and it just kind of freaked me out. And then we started driving around the town. So many things. And then we went outside the town, and literally the scenery for Radiator Springs is this town.
Oh.
And the first thing I did when we set up that night was just look at Holbrook. I think it's Holbrook, Arizona, or Holbrook, New Mexico. It was the town.
Oh, wow.
The Pixar crew, John Lasseter, would send his guys for the next movie. He would send them out, and they traveled Route 66. And we found one place, and this is one of the highlights for me, but it was just this, do you remember? The rabbit, Jack Rabbit. Here it is. If you look at, there's a billboard, here it is. And that billboard comes off of, in the movie, it's there a number of times. But it comes from Jack Rabbit Post, or Trader's Post.
Okay.
Trading Post.
Trading Post, yeah.
So we went in this place, and, the guy, we met the owner, and he had pictures with John Lasseter and the whole bit. It was such a ball. There's actually a post a number of weeks ago. That was our big post for Feature Friday, just introducing that town that we found haphazardly. And I just tied it in with all the stuff I've done for Pixar, whether it be for the Disney Group or the ad agencies around the country.
Oh, I love that. That's like, you're like living in Cars Land. That was like living in Cars Land. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. I got to check that place out.
Oh, please do. Go check out the, and I'm going to blatantly push my old art, but I'm very pleased with my little studio at the time. Artifacts is my studio, and that's what I still go by.
Yeah.
Artifacts started in '94, and shortly after that, Frito-Lay hired me to do Buzz and Woody for their packaging art for the opening of the movie. And that's what I was just talking about earlier.
Right.
But what happened from that, everything exploded because Mattel then called me to do all the toy packaging for, I think we did some for Toy Story, but we did all of it for Toy Story 2 and A Bug's Life.
Oh, okay.
And that connection got us into McDonald's and all these other places. So it was just, that's when it exploded. That's what got me into Disney. The Disney parks called me themselves to do illustration for them in 2007.
And you've done so much. I swear everybody that is watching this or listening has something of yours, be it something from Disney Vacation Club or from the cruise line or something. You guys wouldn't even know it. But if you check out Greg's work, you will find, I'm going to put on in a few minutes, I'm going to put on where they can actually can see you and find you. But what I have to ask you, I mean, it sounds like everything is the best part of what you do, but do you have a best part of what you do? What is the best part of what you do?
Nowadays, it's very simple. That I've been able to give back the last number of years, sitting out there at the Disney Springs and the signings. I would say talking to young artists, but just talking to people and giving back some of the stuff that I've learned both personally and professionally. Okay. And what a joy.
Oh my gosh. Well, what kind of advice would you give to people that are artists or budding artists? Or like, what kind of advice would you give them, Greg?
How about a warning first off?
Oh, okay. Oh dear. Okay.
But the thing is, if it's in your heart and if it's in your soul, just don't stop. Too many people have a way of trying to jam it up for you, and just don't stop. Okay. If it's there for you and you know it, it's hard. And again, I'm so fortunate. I'm so fortunate. I don't know what to say, but I never gave up. And failures the word failure is not even in my vocabulary. I don't like that word. Yeah. It's not right. Yeah. It's just a learning experience. Right. Take those learning experiences and bounce back and do the next thing. Always have a next thing. I always have had a next thing. I have a next thing now, whether it happens or not. It doesn't matter. Okay. But I'm just always pushing. Okay. That's good to know. That, I mean, and you know what? That's actually not only for artists, but people that want to do something with their life. I think that that's a good message for all of us, really, that want to do certain things that maybe might not be the norm, right? That is something in the creative realm. So those are great words. Oh, it's no doubt. It's personal and artistic, wherever you want it. Yeah. Well, you also do speaking engagements. I know we haven't really had the opportunity to do too many in the last year and a half, but when we will be able to, where can people find you to do that if they want to hire you to come speak to them? I would say the best bet is just private message me on Facebook. Okay. Through Greg McCullough's art then, or? Yeah. Just go to Greg McCullough Art. Okay. And just send me a message and then we'll go from there. Okay. That's so nice that you're available on Facebook for folks too, because
you're very approachable, and you're a nice guy anyway. So it's just nice that people can actually reach out to you as well. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, of course. Greg, I know sometimes we're asked this question. I know I'm asked this question. Sometimes I can say some things and sometimes I can't. But what is next for you? What's next?
I had this vision a number of years ago. I had been traveling a bit before the RV, and I can't give up the Disney. The characters, animated characters, have been with me since '78.
Yeah.
But I am finding nature so amazing. And I've been studying some big time nature artists, and on my travels, I've started photographing and studying some iconic elements in different areas. You go into San Francisco, let's say, you've got the Golden Gate Bridge, and especially after doing the remnants, I just have these visions of these very now I said Golden Gate Bridge, but the majority of it is natural.
Right.
Like,
right.
Oh my goodness! I went to the canyon, the Grand Canyon in the Yellowstone Park today. Natalie had to pull me out of it because I was it just grabbed me.
Oh,
right now, the park is filled with snow, but this you put snow into the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, and it's just amazing. And I can just see that painting as something wall size.
Wow.
So if that could come together, and if I could find a niche for me, whether it be personal commissions or museums or something.
Nice.
That's where I'm at. I'm not going to give up Disney. Please don't worry.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's all you create, right? So a creator is always looking at other things to create as well. Do you know what I mean? You don't just. I think that's your natural, sort of a natural, I guess, instinct to do that, to continue creating. I mean, there's different avenues, there's different subject matter. Doesn't mean you have to give up one for the other, but I think I can, when you were telling me the visual of with the snow in there, I could almost imagine it, especially if it was a sunny day. It would have been absolutely brilliant.
It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I've got the right photos to do what I want to do. And I just wanted to, a couple of decades ago, probably 3 decades ago, I heard, I don't want to graduate. You were mentioning how I'm always pushing. I'm always looking, 2 steps down. It's like, what's next? What are we going to do? And so, yes, I don't want to graduate.
Yeah.
I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to learn personally. I want to learn creatively. And
I love that. That's awesome. And I think that you've got the right partner beside you, because she is of the same ilk. She wants to create, and I think that's a great combination to be able to do that and travel at the same time. And, if people want to follow your travels, you had mentioned that you put up on a Facebook page. Is it on Facebook, Greg McCullough Art, that people would follow your travels along? Is that the best place to find your travels?
That's where to find us.
Okay.
And please go follow us.
Okay.
And I have to say that I don't think Natalie had never painted before. I think she painted at where you go and have wine and paint.
Oh yeah.
Like
okay.
But Natalie, she's had this in her because she's doing things that are just blowing my mind. Y'all, everyone has not seen, she released a few of the remnants last year at the festival, and they did very well.
Okay.
But what she has started doing is just there's going to be some surprises
Oh,
coming.
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Now, I have to ask you, so Natalie, are some of your paintings uh under Greg McCullough Art on Facebook or where? Because I never went to that festival this year. So I was just wondering where I could could people see what some of your work is?
Well, we released, I believe, 3 at the last festival. The one that was very popular was Having Fun. It's Mickey and Minnie, the ride, Mickey and Minnie Rail.
Oh, the Runaway Railroad.
Yes. Yes,
Ah.
and the original is huge, and it was in the stand in the middle, and it got a lot of attention. It was actually the 4th bestseller of the festival, so I was
Well,
really, really very happy about it. Especially that it was my first painting, so I was thinking, oh, well, we're not gonna order a lot. It's the first time.
right.
It's not gonna be that popular, and oh my God, we ran out of it all the time.
Oh,
So. Yeah.
well, that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we had the Collage de Disney. Collage de Disney is 3 paintings with snapshots of Disney movies.
Ah.
And you have to find which Disney movie it is. So people had a lot of fun with that. They were coming into the tent and they were looking at it for a very long time, trying to figure out all the movies.
For
and the
sure.
paintings.
Yeah.
And I also had a Dumbo one, a remnant also, a remnant.
Wow.
And there's more coming. Like Greg was saying, I'm new to this and I'm having a ball. I'm painting nonstop. It's like, oh my God.
Oh, it's like it's erupted, just like Old Faithful, right? It's just erupting out of you. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. Oh my gosh. It's just wonderful. And I have people that are commenting that they've already followed you on Facebook there because I mentioned where you're at. They're already clicking to follow you. So you're going to,
Awesome.
you're going to have more followers. Well, you guys, I know that you have taken some time out of your, I would say, your perpetual vacation just to chat today. And I want to thank you so much for coming on. And I can't wait to see where you got, your travels. And I'm going to go back. I have seen a little bit in, in Greg McCullough's art in that Facebook page, but I'm going to go back a little bit more because I missed a lot. It's been a little hectic and busy here as well that I'll tell you about when we're off air. But it's all good, of course. But I just want to thank you so much, you guys, and safe journey to you, and look forward to those posts. I'll tell you, and seeing your work too, Natalie. Gosh, that's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Kimberly, thank you. We're honored you had us.
Well, it's my pleasure. So you guys take care and safe journeys, okay?
Okay. Have a good day.
Thanks. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh gosh, that's pretty neat. I mean, I haven't been to Yellowstone for several years. And I know that I've been in the Grand Tetons in Wyoming skiing, and they get an awful lot of snow there. So I would imagine there's still quite a bit of snow around there, but I'm very happy for them that they can live that RV life and paint, do what they love to do, and what they make a living at. I think that's a real blessing to be able to do all of that and explore the country. But you guys, I just want to say again, thank you so much for dropping by today, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Be safe. God bless. Bye for now.